Does anyone actually like playing Sonic R? Don't get me wrong, the music is amazing, but the gameplay, eh. The world is cool though. This is the first full Sonic game where you get to be really immersed in his world. Sorry Sonic Jam, you don't count. So let's take some time to appreciate one of the first depictions of Sonic's world in 3D, and along the way, we'll look at some spots that really stand out. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. Resort Island is the first stage, and please forgive my movement, I'm not used to the controls in this game. It's a cheery level. It's tradition to start your video game with a bright and welcoming stage. They did a good job with this one. Right off the bat, I like this patch of grass off to the right of the starting line. It feels like just a bit more extra space than you'd usually see in a racing game. Like in Mario Kart, I'd imagine the fence would be right up against the track, or at most here. But not in Sonic R, you get this field. There's a bridge right next to a waterfall. I have to point this out. Look at the texture of the bridge on the side of it. They made it ever so slightly blue. I'm assuming that's just baked into the texture and not actual lighting, but I'm not familiar with the Sega Saturn. I don't know what it's capable of. If that just is the texture, that's neat. You can follow the main path down that way, but just off to the side here is something that always threw me off in this stage. There's like a little desert area with some buildings. I don't know, it just feels off compared to the rest of the area's tropical theme. Like, does this island have natives? Do they live in these? Or have they long been abandoned? These are questions that are very important to the experience of Sonic R, and they must be answered. Huh, I guess we can take a look at the skybox for a moment. Just so many mountains off in the distance, and they look so massive from here. Imagine how big they are up close. Oh my god, the palm trees! They're literally as tall as the mountains. There's no parallax to indicate that they're closer to the stage than the mountains, and fog levels are the same between the two. I can only assume that means those palm trees are literally the size of mountains. I'm imagining the jungles at the foot of those mountains. So much green, so many places for predators to hide. If the trees are that big, just imagine what other beings could be oversized. Terrifying. Just before you reach the starting line again, there's a tiny little collection of trees. What a cute forest they have going on here. It's kind of annoying to get through here on foot, it's best just to go above it. Though if you were to play hide and seek on this stage, this would be a good spot. And with that, we're back at the start. Huh, I didn't notice this before, but there's a cute little pyramid right next to the patch of grass we looked at earlier. It's so tiny and cute. I wonder what secrets it holds. Lovely stage. I'm a big fan of early 3D environments from this generation. You can feel the artist slowly learning how to effectively craft a world in 3D. Lessons learned in games like this will go a long way in making future games that much more impressive. Humble beginnings, you know? Radical City is the next stage, and hoo boy is it radical. It's admittedly been a while since I played this game seriously. I forgot how complicated some of these maps can be. Look at how pretzel-y it is. We'll go through the map twice, hitting up different spots on the second lap. Here's where it branches off. For now, we'll explore down here. It's interesting to see that they were experimenting with the city vibe right before Sonic Adventure came out. I might be wrong, but I don't really remember any of the classic games venturing into this territory, with just real-ass buildings and all that. I wonder if this was off-putting to players back in the day. It's a nice space. The colors and shading on the buildings is so striking. I also like these weird little patches of grass. It almost seems like there'd be trees here, but maybe they had to cut some stuff out to keep a playable frame rate. The small wooden path feels out of place. It's unmotivated. I'm not sure why the tiles don't extend out here. Moving further along the path. Wow, looky there. Now that's some impactful use of color. Gives a playful vibe to this stage. Jumping down gives even more of those vibes. You're in a pinball table. I love that developers have an obsession with Sonic and pinball. I guess he's a natural fit for it, practically being a ball himself. Though I don't know, I never really vibed with pinball sections in Sonic stages. It always annoyed me getting bounced around. Maybe that's just a me thing though. It's chaotic down here. I can't even tell what half of these structures are supposed to be. So many colors and flashing lights, it's hard to make sense of it all. Obviously got a slot machine here. It's many times bigger than you. But hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Before we get into the second lap, let's take a brief look at the skybox. Once again, there's massive mountains in the distance. I love just how 90s they look. Closer to us though are some buildings, and between them and the stage is a body of water. I know that's more of a gameplay thing than an in-world setting thing, but I kinda like the vibe it gives off. This feels like a seaside casino town. You'd come here on a cruise or something and gamble away everything before the trip is even half over. I mean, I wouldn't do that. People would. Not me, nuh-uh. I guess I don't know why I built up this second lap of the track. The only area you see along the other path is a short city section like we looked at earlier. It's still nice, I'll give it that. Regal Ruin is the third stage of the game. I don't know why, but whenever I think of Sonic R, I think of this stage. Which is weird because I feel like it makes sense to remember the first stage, but this one always stuck out to me in my mind. I guess I do love a good desert-inspired stage. In the distance, you get some glorious 90s CGI sand dunes, pyramids, and sphinxes. That's kind of the vibe I was going for with my intro I made a while back. Wait, are the sphinxes supposed to be echidnas? I was thinking that they looked a little funky to be the normal sphinxes we're used to seeing. Look there, you can see the quills that kinda look like knuckles. Kinda hard to say for sure, considering how low res that texture is. Oh, well, I guess that definitively answers that question. I find it funny that there's all this ancient architecture that's been here for God knows how long. And then there's just these simple wooden arrow signs. Maybe these are ancient too, who can say? Some hieroglyphs on the wall. Looking for a reference. Of course, there it is. Can't have hieroglyphs in a game like this without having a tiny little reference. My one little weird spot for the video is in this side path. It's just cozy. I allow myself a random spot every now and then like this. One that I can't really explain, but I just love the vibes. It's chill here. I also dig this tiny little oasis. A tiny bit of greenery can really go a long way in a desert environment. There's this area just past one of the ring gates. Something about this space feels so important. Obviously because of the little pyramid thing, but also these steps. It feels so realistic for a stage that has you get back up to the track with a ramp like this. I guess they wanted this spot to stick out, considering it is an unlockable path. It works. And that's the end. It feels like there wasn't as much to talk about compared to Radical City, but the vibes more than carry this stage for me. Reactive Factory is the final stage playable from the beginning. This game follows the trope of starting with a bright and cheerful stage, and ending with a bleak and industrial one. Well, as bleak as you'd expect from a game with a soundtrack like it has. I noticed that Spyro the Dragon did that trope in my tour of the game. A lot do it, really, but I still like to point it out every now and then. It's a good way for the developers to showcase what's at stake, what you stand to lose if you don't defeat the bad guy. Though I guess that doesn't make much sense for a silly racing game. Now that I think about it, it actually did make sense in Crash Team Racing, considering that game had a loose plot. Yet another reason why Crash Team Racing is the best racing game. In the final hub level, you get to see the mechanical side of the world compared to the... Wait, wasn't this video supposed to be on something else? Of course, Sonic R, Reactive Factory. First thing I noticed are these pipes flowing with... whatever that is. Maybe it's Coca-Cola, though it could be anything. What I wouldn't give to suckle all the mysterious liquid from that pipe. Some yummy blue over there. Guess this is the liquid factory. There's a small little body of water here. I feel like this is a cooling pool. Maybe not the best idea to jump in. Here's a TV screen that flashes between an exclamation point and the text OK. Not sure what to make of that. I like this circular area. It's one of the only parts of the track that truly sticks out to me. Most of the other sections interlink in weird ways and look so similar, it's just kind of confusing. But this is simple and iconic. I just noticed, nearly all the walls in this factory are made of stone. The texture makes it look like it's natural, not concrete or whatever. There's all these vents lining them. Is there an interior to this structure? What would it look like? Questions I'm sure no human being has ever thought to ask. But that's why I'm here, to bring the mind to places it's never been before. Skybox is kinda boring in this stage, just a couple mountains in the distance. The stage truly does feel like it's at sea, considering the mountains over there. Just a mysterious liquid factory in the middle of the ocean. Don't have much else to say about this stage. Moving on to the final stage in the game, when you unlock from getting first place in every other level. Radiant Emerald. Gee willikers, now that's an aesthetic. Shouldn't be surprised this game has its own Rainbow Road. I guess it does kind of feel like its own thing, if only just a little bit. All the crystals have it feel different from any Rainbow Road I've seen, and it makes sense with emeralds being as important as they are to the series. It's funny looking at the skybox. The image loops, so there's like a half dozen Earths. Mobiuses? What planet does Sonic live on again? Whatever it is, there's a lot of them. Though it's kinda hard to appreciate the view with the walls of the track being as high as they are. It's almost claustrophobic, especially comparing them to the walls in Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Ride. It's unobtrusive, it gives you space to breathe. This doesn't. I have no spots to show off. I'm sorry. This is a boring stage when it comes to that kind of stuff. I guess there's this wall. That felt kinda different when I came by here for the first time. Kind of an anticlimactic end to a video. Huh. Bye!